All right, everyone. Welcome back to Stacking the Deck. I'm here with the ever reliable, trustworthy TCG player, seller extraordinaire, Kurt Cresswell.
It's me, guys. Hello.
And I am your faithful, ever-loving host, Edward Chalupa.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a pretty interesting, I guess, we're a little over a week now, right? It's with the Christmas and everything going on. So if we didn't wish anybody happy holidays from the Giddm Games crew.
We can still get into Happy New Year. That hasn't happened yet.
Happy New Year.
Depending on how, lazy you are at editing this, it could be Happy New Year.
Oh, no. This will get out quick. Well, typically our release schedule butts up against, like, we record late and then the next day I get home from work and then we go to bar locals and then next thing you know, it's Thursday and then
what happened to Wednesday?
Wednesday's a wash. Or no, sorry, Wednesday. Yeah, I mean Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday's a wash too. So Thursday's usually when things come out. But we're recording this on a Friday, so
pulling the curtain back a little bit.
That's right. A lot of cool news. I needed to hold up my end of the bargain. Had to supply my own bit of news. Kurt came through as always with his long form news content. Mine's mostly Yugioh related. If anybody has been wondering where Yu-Gi-Oh anime's been for like the past almost, I don't want to say decade, but it feels like a decade. They're releasing, instead of doing like a card game show, they're doing stories that are inside the card game, if that makes sense. So each set has, believe it or not, a storyline. Like there's actually IP behind Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's the Fallen Albaz set. I don't want to say set, but like archetype, I guess you would say.
Okay.
And that has a lot to do with like knights and royalty and this, that, and the other. And they're doing an anthology series around different, different archetypes, which I think is really cool.
So the monsters.
Yeah, the monsters. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how Yu-Gi-Oh decks are built. Most people that play don't think about that, or especially if you're old, you're just like, oh, it was just a hodgepodge of cards. You just bang them all together and you have a deck. But modern Yu-Gi-Oh is a lot more thematic in that way. Usually you have a lot of synergy with things within that tribe and archetype and whatnot.
Oh, so. For sure. I think that's also just like universal too, right? Like every competitive card game will have archetypes, especially those that last longer than like a set. Or two, right? You have to flesh out archetype, even if it's just like a mana color, right? Like, for instance, in Magic, you have black, blue, all those, but within those, there's like, this is the burn archetype, or this is the control archetype, stuff like that. So it makes sense. So that's cool, though, that they're coming out with.
Yeah, I watched the trailer. I think the trailer is really cool. I'm not trying to totally nerd out on it or anything. Go watch it if you are interested in anime. I like anime. I think that this, it's high-end Konami produced anime and it looks really cool, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it if you're into that kind of thing.
Is it going to be like a weekly series or just like a mini series where it's like 3 different like OVAs, original video animation, for those that don't know what an OVA is? Or is it like going to be a movie? Have they said
based on this Destructoid article that I pulled up, it's gonna be closer to like an OVA. So
okay, cool.
You're not, or an anthology again is the way that I would describe it to like a Western audience. But I think that you could look forward to watching an episode a week for maybe 6 to 8 weeks, right?
Perfect.
And again, if you watch the trailer, the production value is just really high. It's like movie grade quality, as you would expect for an OVA.
Let me see. Does it mention in the article what the animation studio is?
Yeah, I'd have to go pull it back up, but they've done a lot of other noteworthy pieces. I think I recall reading something about Devil May Cry in there as well that they've worked on before. I think it's Konami's in-house animation studio, as I understand it.
Really?
Yeah. So Good for them. Again, IP is incredibly important. Yu-Gi-Oh started as a manga, moving into a TV show, then with cards and stuff. So I think that's kind of how it's, ridden its success. Same with Pokemon, really. IP. I think all these companies ought to focus on that a little bit more. I think Magic could improve on that a bit. I know it's getting muddier and muddier for Magic as far as IP. There is a Magic IP. There are storylines and things for Magic as well, but I think that's become further fragmented over time as we've gone into like the whole Universe Beyond stuff. It's once you start seeing SpongeBob pop up, you're like, huh.
That means we've made it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is Konami's own animation studio. That's crazy. That's pretty cool.
And they have like proof of concept. They've done other productions before. Like this wouldn't be their first time. You're not getting some sort of rookie animation put together and it just looks bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any other Yu-Gi-Oh news? I mean, again, we're not really a Yu-Gi-Oh show, but
we're not a Yu-Gi-Oh pod, but we are Yu-Gi-Oh enjoyers.
Yeah. I mean,
we're old Yu-Gi-Oh enjoyers.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, we've got the last QCR quarter century rare set that's set to come out in April of 2025, which is pretty significant. For those of you not in the loop at all, most people can agree that Yu-Gi-Oh rarities on their cardboard always look pretty cool. They always find like a new little hollow pattern to put on just the most random card that makes it look really sweet, and it only costs like 50 cents because they will print that into the ground forever. so it's pretty cool. Their newest little rarity has some embossing on the card that says 25th anniversary, even though I feel like they've been doing 25th anniversary sets for like forever. 2 years now. So we're more like on the 27th anniversary, but the last set is set to come out in April. And they did, and I don't know if they did this with the other QCR quarter century rare. I just don't want to say all that sets, but they let the fans vote on what they wanted to be made into a QCR, a quarter century rare, which is the highest rarity. If you look up on TCG Player, you'll see that any set that has quarter century rarity, those cards are always the most expensive because they're the rarest to pull. Think of it like an SIR from Pokemon, and alternate art from like Magic. These are always the rarest things. Even though the card art is the same, the foiling is the exclusive stuff. That's for Yu-Gi-Oh players, that's the chef's kiss. It's not the artwork, it's not a different artwork. It is the foiling on the card.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the money is. So it was very interesting. There were some pretty unique standouts on that fan vote. You mentioned that there's a prominent like Yu-Gi-Oh YouTuber who has an affinity for Petite Moth, and that was one of the ones that were voted into the QCR treatment. We also got some very, very good GOAT format, which is the format that me and Ed play the most. It's 2004, 2005 Yu-Gi-Oh! Got some really good reprints in the form of Dust Shoot and Metamorphosis, which the reason why those are good is they had very limited printings and they're very expensive. You don't have to play these cards. Some might argue that Dust Shoot you have to play, but they climbed up there. I think, they're up to, at one point before they announced this reprint, Dust Shoot was at like $15. And remember, in Yu-Gi-Oh, guys, you can play 3 of a card unless it is limited or banned. Then that knocks it down. But typically you can play 3 of a card. So $45 for an old format most of the time is a bit too steep for people unless they really want to like commit and get into it. So having these reprints will be very good. It means we get nice reprints.
Yes, very good, very good.
So happy about that. Not very happy that I got to wait 4 months for it, but it will be nice. I think it'll be a good cap off to the QCR treatment. Can't wait to see what's going to happen in the future. Who knows? Maybe they'll just keep printing QCR rarity, but they won't call it that anymore. Maybe it'll just say Yu-Gi-Oh on it instead of 25th anniversary. Who knows? But
forever.
once they get the printers going with a new card rarity, they can slip that art in there anywhere. So we'll have to see. But exciting.
Yeah. That's all I got for Yu-Gi-Oh news. There's do you have anything on Lorcana? Because I have a little bit that I wanted to share.
No Lorcana. Other than, like I mentioned last week, people going to the movie theaters, swiping up that $3 promo from those poor high school kids running the ticket counters. But yeah, what's up with that?
So I just thought this was cool, and it's not really like, I don't know if it's really newsworthy or not. I just think it's cool. It's one thing that I liked about Metazoo a lot. Lorcana is going to be hosting their championship event taking place at Disneyland.
Oh yeah,
from January 10th through the 12th, and they're having some of the artists show up to the event, which I think is really cool. Maybe that's kind of commonplace, but
it is
for, I don't know, you don't really often hear that for something like Lorcana, I guess, or maybe Yu-Gi-Oh. Maybe Yu-Gi-Oh. Thinking about it's like, I don't know if I've ever heard of an artist showing up to a YCS or whatever.
Oh no, never, because Yu-Gi-Oh artists are like a conglomerate. Once you start drawing for Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't have a name.
Yeah,
you're just the Konami art team.
I guess for somebody like the outside looking in, just seeing like that's how Lorcana wants to handle their artists, I think that's cool. What I'm getting at.
And whenever Lorcana does conventions like Gen Con, stuff like that, they have artists show up.
Oh, okay.
And they will sign cards. So it's not unheard of. That's cool that they're. I don't know if they had it at the. What are they called? They're called like challenges, I think is what they're called. The regionals. The regional here in Dallas. I don't think they had any artists show up, but it makes sense. They're probably taking a page out of, most other games like Magic and Pokemon. Artists always show up at their world championship levels or their pro tour level events. So that makes sense to me. That they would show up, but that's really cool. I really they always toted that they were going to have like the worlds at Disneyland, right? So that's cool that you get to go play cards and also enjoy Disney and hopefully not have to pay $2,000 to get into the park. But that'd be cool if your invitation to Worlds got you a free Disney ticket. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I don't know. Talk about a cool location vibe. There's a lot to like about what Lorcana's doing as far as OP goes. So maybe if you're in Indy, pay attention to that. I know you're not Disney, right? You're not going to Disneyland, but some of the stuff, again, having a nice venue, having the artists there, pretty basic stuff, but important.
A hotel ballroom goes a long way as far as putting together a really kick-ass event for your new and upcoming TCG. Nothing you will hear it from all of the card players, all the spikes. I want my card events to be close to an airport, preferably in a hotel. Why is that? Because I can stay right next to the venue. Obviously, Metazoo did it a little different, where they wanted to be more thematic. Sending us to places like Point Pleasant. The New York for Earth Tower didn't really make sense, but Point Pleasant for Dark Tower because of Mothman Festival. They hinted at Forest Tower being in Wisconsin because of the Hodag Festival, so they went more the thematic route. But hey, still having something like that in a venue that's accessible to as many players as possible is always good. So we like that.
Yeah, I think that's all good things. I believe you have some Pokemon news for us.
Dude, we had a couple of things. We had a pretty big shakeup in the, I guess you would call it reseller world with the set, the new set
world. I
mean, there you go, Scalper World. That's what I wanted to
it's
call
right
it.
next to Juice World. It's
Except
Juice World adjacent.
Yeah, exactly. So the new Eevee set, I'm sure everyone's heard about it, seen it by now. It's been out in Japan for a while. We are set to get it here at the start of next month, the start of 2025. Those Japanese booster boxes are still going for a decent amount, $70, $80. Over the holiday, there was a TCG Players storefront that threw up like 10,000 boxes for $40. half of what everyone else was selling them at, I'm pretty sure that $40 is like JPN MSRP. Like that's how much you buy them for at the store in Japan.
Okay.
So they had all of these boxes up. It got so far as like there were people posting in our local DFW Pokemon group. I even had in like a less than 100 people Oklahoma City Pokemon group. Someone posted a link and said, "This is crazy. They're half off. Buy, buy, buy." And then what do you know? The next day, a couple days later, it was all just a market manipulation. They started refunding all the orders. They took down the listing. You can still see the data on TCG Player. You can still see those $40 sales, but the storefront has dialed back all of those. I truly believe it was just like a market manipulation stunt on their part. I don't think anybody's ever going to get those $40 boxes, so hopefully they get a refund soon enough. But very interesting to see that it was just kind of reaching all corners of my Pokemon universe as far as like tiny little Facebook groups like, you guys got to see this. This is crazy, because everybody wants to rip that God pack, rip those EV God packs, you know?
Oh, sweet God packs.
So that was interesting to see over the holiday break.
What do you think is going to happen with the English then?
Oh, dude, it's going to go crazy. What do you mean? They've already announced that the English is going to have Master Ball rarity, reverse holo rarity. So that's now 3 reverse holos that English. This is going to be the first set that does that. You're going to have reverse holo, Pokeball rare, and Master Ball rarity, which previously Pokeball rarity and Master Ball rarity were Japan exclusive foiling. So now they're bringing it to an English set. This is a master set collector, English collector's worst nightmare, because you got to collect 3 of every card. And
Yikes.
I mean, the Master Balls were like 1 per box in Japan. So that's going to be pretty tough. I know I shelled out for my Master Ball Magikarp card from 151 Japanese just because it was so rare. It wasn't the best. So, but it's gonna stonk. The English set is gonna go so crazy, even so much more than the Japanese set. And again, anyone will tell you if there's any type of rare. You've seen the markets. Anyone who's got their finger slightly on the pulse, see how crazy. Like even Surging Sparks booster boxes are still like $200 for a 130 MSRP booster box.
You got that right.
That's crazy.
It's going to be interesting too. I want to, maybe you mentioned this before, but this set is there's no booster box for it, right? It's a specialty set, is what I was told.
Is it a holiday set?
I don't know if I haven't heard it be described as a holiday set.
That's what that means. If it doesn't have like a booster box, if it just has like ETBs and special collections, then it's classified as a holiday set because it's not a main set. God, if it is, that's going to be.
Yeah, check me on that, but I'm fairly certain that's what it is.
151 all over again.
yeah, that's what I was hearing. So that would go crazy, you know.
Yeah. Let's see, Prismatic Evolutions. We're checking real fast. That's the English name of it. Mini Tins, ETBs. Yep, it's a holiday set. Oh, that's not fun. That's
yeah.
That gonna be expensive.
Yeah. Every Kyle's gonna turn his hat backwards and say it's time to cook.
I've always liked that Eevee Pokemon. So.
Yeah, that one's great. Where's my Facebook Marketplace at?
Oh God, can't wait to see that on the local DFW Pokemon scalper group. Just rated 3 targets, got 20 Prismatic Evolution ETBs. Who wants them?
Here's the crazy thing for me. So I've done some Facebook Marketplace Pokemon deals. Not necessarily of the flipper variety. I have old Pokemon that I don't want. That's it. But I always meet these guys, and it's weird that like they're so ashamed to admit that they're like in the reseller market, like flippers. So I'm just there to make a transaction, and these guys, they always go into like some 30-minute long description of how they got into Pokemon and
Yeah.
why they like it, and
They
I
want to
think
be friendly.
I know, but I just think like it's a little inauthentic. Maybe I'm just a skeptical person.
See, I feel
But
that
like,
same way too. No, I'm on your side. I was like, I don't need to hear all this. I just want, let's just make the transaction.
yeah, well, and
And
they try to justify like it slowly turns into them talking about like, hey, by the way, if you need any connects on the next set, or like, it turns into like another scheme.
it's
You
like
know
a
what I mean?
pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
It
trying to
starts
get a
out as like,
customer.
I've always loved Pokemon, and like the rosy story of like, oh yeah, it's such a fun game, and then it turns into like, hey, let me sell you something now, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm
Hey,
good.
if you need to know where the vendors are going to be at each target in a 30-minute radius.
Yeah, or like they tell me, oh, this is for my dad who just got into it, and he's real, or my kid.
It's like, bro, who cares?
I don't need you don't have to tell me. If you're gonna flip it for more, flip it for more. That's by all
Get your
means.
bag, man.
Yeah, I don't care. Open it, throw it in a ditch, whatever you're into. But yeah, I wish I could describe that feeling, but it's unique.
It just makes me feel like queasy
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like uncomfortable.
yeah. I'm like, all
It's
right,
like,
trying to
but
go.
it's like they're trying to justify how they got them, right? Like
Yeah,
that they have some sort of knowledge, or whenever they saw a whole display, they just bought the whole thing, and then I guess they have remorse for this, right? But like, I don't care about that. I'm coming to you and I'm either selling you something or I'm buying that scalped product from you, right? So
the
like,
deed has been done.
yeah, exactly. You've already, dude, don't atone for your sins with me. Go to church, man. Like, I don't need to hear about it. Just give me, just put the Pikachu in the bag, man. That's all I need. It's funny though. It
Yeah.
happens every time.
What other Pokemon news do we have, sir?
Man, what else do we have? What else do we have about Pokemon? We got new spoilers for the partner Pokemon set,
Oh,
which again,
yeah, these are awesome. So like
God.
what, tag team or what is it?
So
Like
not tag team, it's like owners Pokemon. So you remember like Gym Challenge and Gym Heroes with
that's
like
it. Yeah.
Giovanni's,
Yeah.
Misty's,
Yeah.
stuff like that. They're bringing that back for those that you don't know, with like popular characters, from recent memory, like Iono and N and stuff like that. They released the first like spoilers for these. Most notably, one of the cards that they're creating is a Zoroark card, and any competitive Pokemon player, you mention Zoroark, and he's never had a non-competitive card. Because it's a very popular Pokemon, it gets very competitive cards. Specifically, it has an ability that was very dominant for years and years and years in the 2010s. Most people, most of the new heads will say like 2014, 2015 Pokemon was their favorite, and this is whenever Zoroark GX was dominant in every format. Back then, we had two Pokemon formats. We had Expanded, which was all of the modern printing, and then we had Standard, which was just like the last year worth of sets. And it dominated both formats. It was crazy. It let you discard a card to draw two cards. You could do that once per card per turn. So if you had all four of them out, you're drawing 8 cards out of your 60 card deck. Pokemon is already like the fastest game to draw through your 60 card deck. You draw a lot of cards. You
Yeah.
get through that deck very fast.
That was always my criticism of it too. I was like,
It's just too
drawing
fast.
so many cards.
Yeah, so many choices that you need to make. They're reprinting a really good Zoroark card, so that'll shake things up. I think it's going to be really great from just a collector's standpoint, because you kind of don't have to wish and hope for like a character being on your card other than the Pokemon, like in an SIR or something like that. Well, it's going to be N's Zoroark, so of course on the special illustration rare, of course N is going to be on the card with his Zoroark, so it'll look cool. I think it'll be sweet. I'm very excited for it from both sides. Our set's going to come out in March whereas Japan will get it in January. So they're going to get it 2 months ahead of time. Really, really shitty. Any competitive Pokemon player will also tell you that's not cool because we don't have global release. Japan always gets things first, and then we get it afterwards.
They set the meta.
They do set the meta, and for big tournaments, big events like Worlds and even Nationals, you know, those traveling players have already played with the cards for months and months and months over the English players. So kind of poopy, but very exciting for the new cards. It's definitely going to shake things up. I'll probably get back into playing Pokemon whenever these cards come out, just because I like it from a collector standpoint and a competitive standpoint. So, and I saw some success with old Zoroark anyways. So it'll be like putting on an old pair of shoes and stepping right on in, drawing 8 cards a turn.
Nostalgia.
Yeah. Oh man, it'll be good. I can't wait.
Yeah. I don't know. I was I enjoy playing our Pokemon Cube. Like that's my favorite form of Pokemon. Totally not competitive at all, but and I guess for those that don't know, like how does could you describe the Pokemon Cube that we play?
Yeah. So shout out to Tricky Jim. Shout out to Andrew Mahone for putting together this. This is a 80 card 1v1 cube. So anyone familiar with like cube or drafting, a cube is just a custom draft where you just make packs of cards and people open those cards and then you draft. You know, you pick a card out of the pack and then you pass that custom pack and then you build a deck off of that custom cube. My cube, Tricky Jim's cube, is just 80 cards, and it is specifically meant for a 1v1 format. You're only supposed to draft it with 2 players, just you versus another guy. It's all old format cards, like from the first couple of years of Pokemon, but very trending strategies emerge. Like in this cube, there are very archetypes. There are predefined archetypes that are present within this cube. And it's just really fun because there's only a finite number of cards in this 80, card cube. So there's strategy in picking the cards. This is a Solomon draft. So you make your custom pack into 2 piles and then you present it to your opponent. Your opponent gets to pick one of those 2 piles and then you get the other one. So say you crack a really powerful card and you're like, I don't really want this guy to have this, so I'm going to load up this pack with a bunch of garbage plus the good card, and then hope that they still pick that good one, or they might just pick the okay pack, and then you're like, crap, I guess I got the good card with the bunch of garbage.
It's like it's its own mini game almost. Like,
it really is. Yeah. It's pretty crazy, and you may think to yourself, oh, with custom, piles, you might not have enough cards for your deck. You have enough. It evens out because if your opponent does that same thing where they weigh the different piles of cards, then it'll all even out. You'll pick the bigger pile. You'll have enough cards to make a deck for sure. But it's very fun. Like it's, again, meant to be played with just 2 people. You sit down, you spend 20 minutes drafting and building your deck, and then you play an hour's worth of games. It's a lot of fun. I was able to make that cube for $80. So it was pretty cool. I'm a big fan of it. I highly recommend it. If you just type in Tricky Jim 1v1 cube, you will find it. It's very fun to play. I would highly recommend it. If you like playing Pokemon, it's also very good to play if you have someone who might have played Pokemon at one point and is not really into like the current standard meta or anything like that, because there's all early cards, so very basic attacks, basic interactions. There's not a whole lot of text on these cards, so
easy. That's my speed right there. Let me tell you.
There you go. It's got like the attack name and 1 line of text at most underneath it. So very good to also play as from a casual standpoint as well. Yeah, so lots of fun.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I came across some news. I don't know if we want to like talk about any Kickstarters or anything.
If you got it.
Yeah, I know it wasn't really on the docket, but I just think it's interesting that for those that are still thinking about launching their Kickstarters and all this other stuff, there's a game called In Light of Shadows. Got 6 days left, and it's 211% funded. So their goal was to hit 30,000, and they've hit 63. So that's pretty substantial with 100 backers. And you know, I don't want to say it's just another TCG, but it's just a reminder out there that there is still a market for these Kickstarters. There's still ways to promote and advertise and get your game out there, I guess you would say. I'm going to go through a couple key points on it. I think at first glance, a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, oh, well, this looks just like every other Kickstarter AI art type game. But
wait, that's what I was thinking right now whenever I pulled it up.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, that was my reaction too. But the point still stands in that, like, there is, if you think you can, I don't want to be disparaging of this, you know, company, game, or brand, but there are games out there that I think have a little bit more independent creativity that still haven't run their Kickstarter yet. That could probably do as well as this. So I'm just kind of throwing that out there. You know, it's a post-apocalyptic TCG featuring 4 factions with unique cards. The gameplay is pretty standard. You've got your like color systems and things like that. One thing that they've really hyped up is that there's going to be it's launching with a digital platform for global play and trade. Cool. So I think that's kind of a big deal. Maybe that's the bigger differentiator, is that they're leaning into online gaming early on.
Yeah.
And then again, like I said, you have these factions that give you your deck archetypes and things like that. You know,
why do these cards look like tarot card sized?
Yeah, they're kind of like non-traditional size cards, I guess.
Okay, wait. Well, maybe no, they don't.
You're supposed to scan cards to play them online. They're like scan cards.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the physical cards, and they don't look like cards that I can put into a standard card sleeve.
Oh, you're correct in that assessment.
Yeah. They look like tarot card size.
Yeah. They're different size cards than your average card.
Well, that hey, no offense, in Light of Shadows, but having your players having to buy non-standard card sleeves to protect their assets, not bold move.
The brilliant idea is they can cut their own card sleeves, and you can only buy from their.
Oh them. Wow!
Oh man,
that's great.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, AI art and stuff like that. And I get needing to have some AI art to launch your game. It's mostly proof of concept, but it does hurt. Like, I know some other games that I like have struggled with that. Their first set was with AI art. And a lot of people, you only get that first impression once, you know what I mean? So I don't really know what's the best way of going about doing it. I think AI art, showing it to a real artist, is helpful, and the real artist can work off of your AI draft. But you know, like I said, proof of concept in that. But going to print with your AI art in your first set, I think you can work through it, but I don't know. That's just some people's first impression. That's all they'll think of when they see your game sometimes.
It's all I'm thinking of. Rules Engine is there. That's cool. Like, they have cool little GIFs on the Kickstarter page of how their game is played through their online client. That definitely helps. I like that it's an online client and not just a tabletop simulator mod.
I'm so tired of the tabletop simulator mod, dude.
I like that it has a rules engine built into this client that looks like it functions properly, just from not knowing anything about the game. Looks cool. Just don't like that it's not standard size car.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that. There's another game I want to send you, and I didn't want to really talk about it on the podcast because the Kickstarter is entirely in Japanese.
Oh well,
but yeah, it's
Sumimasen, dude. Let me see it.
It's called Legend of Obsidian Duel, and for our audience out there, I've gotten us off track. Usually, Kurt's so nice; he has like a structure of things we got to talk about. but naturally I just start like finding stuff that I think is worth mentioning. But and again, I'm not going to talk into detail about this because I can't read Japanese, but the cards look awesome. It's a Kickstarter called Legend of Obsidian Duel. Check it out. No idea. Can't tell you anything about it. I guess moving on.
Dude, the artwork is cool. It's all hand drawn looking.
Oh, I love this thing. I love this thing.
It's sick. The Legend of Obsidian Duel.
Yeah, yeah. So,
all right. Well, stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll do a deep dive maybe. Maybe we can get
next week. We'll get it translated.
We'll get the creator on the podcast.
Yeah, and yeah, how's that gonna fucking work?
Yeah, half hour of him speaking Japanese, and we can just nod our head.
Hey man, it looks like it's all sold out, dude.
Oh man,
is this over? Is the Kickstarter over?
Maybe we could check it out on Whatnot.
Oh, it ended. It ended. Funny. It already ended, and it made 580,000 yen, which is
so it's like $10. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
$3,673 is what it made, and it did get funded. So
we're playing this next at the bar locals. We're just gonna make up our own rules.
Yeah, let me get my boy Matt Gideon on this. He'll fly over to Japan real quick and pick up a Kickstarter set for us. Yeah, that sounds cool. The highest tier for 25,000 yen, which is like $130. There were only 2 backers. Ships to only Japan. All right. So there's no way we could have got this. Thanks, asshole.
No, I think this is great. This is gonna be stonks, y'all. You don't even know.
It's pretty cool. I didn't even know that like Japanese Kickstarter card games even existed. Like it's pretty dominant in like the big 3, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not talking about Magic the Gathering being one of those big 3 in Japan.
What is it? Duel Masters?
It's like Duel Masters, Pokemon, and Yugioh.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, I say that, but maybe One Piece? One Piece might crack the top 5, but it's like Duel Masters, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Masters, if you guys weren't aware.
Was a Wizards of the Coast property. I think it still is, just only in Japan.
Maybe. Yeah, could
I
be.
Think so.
It got a couple of rebrandings here in the States. It was reformed into Kaijudo. Played a little bit of Kaijudo.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
But I love playing the old Duel Masters video game on the Game Boy Advance. That was very fun for me.
Oh yeah, you bet, dude. That thing's awesome.
Yes,
they have a tabletop simulator mod of that too.
I don't doubt that for a sec. I'll just, you know what? I'll just go get my Game Boy Advance. It's okay.
Honestly, that's the better way of doing it. I'm still leaning on my statement earlier where tabletop simulator. I'm tired of it.
Bad. We hate it.
It's fine if you're playtesting for the game, maybe like you're an internal team and you're like, hey, and you're remote. But God, I don't know. To expect your community to come around tabletop simulator is just, you're not doing anybody any favors.
We hate it. We want cards.
Yeah, and it's weird. I think digital clients are really great too, but I still think the whole point of a card game is to like have cards and play them in person. Mm-hmm. Call me old fashioned.
I think and this is for me as well, but I think what you really want, and again myself as well, is an automated rules engine.
Oh, yes.
We don't want to do everything manually.
Oh, and then arguing with some other idiot across the board who thinks their idea of how it's ruled is different. So then you got to spend 5-10 minutes either Googling or asking some other loser in Discord on how it actually works who claims that they're a judge. And then you're just like, okay, we can move forward now. Play 2 turns. Another thing comes up.
Yeah, I think just for me, it's just the automation. If I'm going to play an online client, an online game, I want everything to be automated. I don't want it to feel like I have to drag my mouse to my deck, pull a card off, physically drag the card out on the table, tap the card to read its effect, grab the little token for the resource. I don't want to do all that. I want all that to be automated if I'm not playing in person. Like, if I'm playing with physical cards, that's part of the game. That's how you play the game. But if I'm playing online, I want all of that automated. And if it's not, it just degrades my experience personally.
See, while we're in Kickstarter land, no longer a Kickstarter, but sorcery. We got some cool sorcery news. Now, Kurt, you're gonna have to lead this one because, and I'll tee you up. Sorcery releases their annual Realm in Review, and this sorcery has it right. Okay, they do it the best. What they do is they have this awesome way of communicating like real information to their audience, not just some like Discord drip or whatever, like a full-on video.
Yeah. And a 2-hour long video.
I should have led with that. Yeah, 2-hour long feature film.
Yeah, I mean, basically, right? They've done 2 of these now. They do them every year. Keep in mind that Eric's Curiosa is only a 2-year-old company. They've only been around for 2 years, but yeah, they put out this Realm in Review where it's, again, 2 hours of them discussing with pretty much every part of the company, every part of the team, from the devs to the creator to everybody. He talks with everybody about like their favorite moments over the last year of sorcery, what their plans are moving forward. And it's very informative. It's a very good listen. You're not going to feel bored by it because it feels like what you're getting is worthwhile, like worth listening to, if that makes sense. You get a lot of content where it's just kind of, here you go, have all this mud, and maybe you pick out a little nugget. But it's interesting to listen to, right? Because they're pulling the curtain back whenever they talk to the dev team and say like, hey, what was your favorite part about like this dev moment? And one of the developers was like, getting to make my first card that had one of every type, like one of every like water, fire, air, and earth. That's the coolest part to me, because, and they showed like a concept art of like a card that they had that had all 4 of the, I don't know why, the threshold, that's what they're called. All 4 of the thresholds on it. It was really cool. And he was like, finally getting to print a card like that with King Arthur was really cool. They have the Codex Keeper. They have Ira, who runs the Sorcery Online League, and also is kind of like the definitive like rules expert. He's pretty much like the compendium team at this point. And he's like, oh, what was your favorite ruling that you gave out this last year? And he's like, I liked whenever I was able to teleport my giant shark above the surface to attack into a guy because of the way that this interacts. And it was like, whoa, that's really cool. And then, you're rewarded at the end. You talk to Simon, you talk to the well-spoken dude that tells you all the cool stuff that's going to happen. And he hints the next set, just like a little
undead
tidbit.
set, right?
Yeah, they said Gothic was the theme of it. They just gave a theme.
Yeah, but it's not going to be called Gothic, though.
No,
right?
no.
It's like an undead vibe.
Yes, exactly. So, and again, they don't give a lot. And I can tell you right now, from my connections in sorcery, they have not started playtesting for this set or anything like that. So it's just a concept. It's just being dreamt up by Eric and the dev team.
I have the concept of an idea.
Yeah, right. So here's 2 words: Gothic girl. All right, run with it. No, but it's cool. It's cool that they give you that. I think, like you said, sorcery does a very good job at communicating with their fan base. That's all well. I mean, even if you've gone and looked at their official YouTube channel, all of their gameplay videos are very highly produced. You can see sort of in the earlier times it was a little lower, but now it's just professional quality. They picked up Drew, if for those of you that don't know anything about sorcery, Drew had a very successful sorcery YouTube channel. He lives in Denton, Texas, so he lives close to us. They picked him up as like the event coordinator and like a production lead. So now you have all these super high produced gameplay videos, and oh man, it's great. It's very professional. if they could only release, some stuff a little sooner, or maybe work on organized play and getting product out to people a little faster.
Yeah.
But their communication, whenever they need to say something, is on point. It's great.
I mean, these are kind of good problems to have in some regard. It just tells me that people want the product. They want stuff. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And I think that's cool.
Stuff. But it's great. And whenever they put that video out, it's broadcast everywhere. Discord, on their website. Their website's great. I'm sure you love their website because it
oh yeah,
it gives
the
you
best.
It gives you articles, it gives you their card database, it gives you like tournament results, it gives you their play network, and like
Single
it's all
source
right
of
there.
knowledge. All you want to know, or anything you want to know, it's all there.
Dude, sorcerytcg.com. That gets you everything you need to know about the company. You don't got to join no dang Discord. You don't got to find some like YouTube video from some weird source. Dude, they got it all right there for you. It's really good. They do a great job at that for sure. But yeah, if you guys are even mildly interested in sorcery, and you haven't listened to their Realm in review, I think even as like a non-sorcery player, just hearing like from a development team standpoint, like their favorite moments, things that they are looking to improve on, things that they know that were lacking, and acknowledging even, it's really good press. It's really good PR to just like come out and say that stuff, right? Like, it's good.
Yeah.
And it's hard pressed to really find a smaller company, admit to those problems, right? And say like, hey guys, we screwed up here. We think we can do better here. We did really well here, but we still want to do it better like this. It's good. It's good.
Instead of like gaslighting your audience and making them feel like, oh, why would you ask that stupid question?
You think you want to know the answer to that, but you don't. And it's like,
because I'm your customer and I would like to buy your product, I guess.
Ain't that how it goes, man?
Yeah. No, that's really exciting. If you're a developer, you have to check those videos out.
You're doing it right.
If you're a fan of sorcery, you've probably already heard it anyways, but give it an actual listen. I haven't done it yet, but to me that's like my yard work, background music kind of thing.
Yeah, then you got to stop and be like, wait, what did he just say? Hold on, let me listen to that again.
That's what I do. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we touched on some Kickstarter stuff, and again, sorcery no longer a Kickstarter, but was. But this leads us into a little bit of Metazoo action. I don't know how much we want to talk about this. Do we want to talk about the speculation, or do we want to talk about fact?
I like both sides of that coin. So
okay, so like the fact is right now, Metazoo has released some new art. That's been cool. The snipes. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but give them a look.
That's good.
It's on their it's in their Discord. I know that for sure. I think they may have posted it in a Twitter. They have another channel, but I don't know if it's Twitter.
I think it was Instagram.
Instagram? Okay.
Yeah, I think they grabbed hold of the Metazoo Instagram handle.
I don't like that. We have to run through those gymnastics of like what channels they do or don't own.
Yeah, it should just be everywhere.
Yeah.
It should just be like everything or start new.
Yeah. Like, hey, this new art they put out is awesome. You could check it out, whatever your preferred.
Yeah, anywhere.
Their website. Oh, wait.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So like, all that aside, though, the art looks phenomenal. Looks really cool. I'd say I think the art looks great. My understanding is they're contracting with an artist studio, which is a little bit different than maybe how Metazoo had done things in the past. I don't know how that's going to change stuff moving forward, but this is more of like I think Yu-Gi-Oh approach.
Also Pokemon. Pokemon uses artwork studios for some of their cards as well. So
okay. Yeah. My hope is that the artist will still be accessible despite using the studio and stuff like that, but we'll see. That's kind of what made Metazoo special. And that's what I was remarking on as far as Lorcana goes, like having the artist at that event.
Yeah. No, that's cool. The artwork is cool looking for sure. I don't think that we'll see much representation from the studio itself at like events if they have artists show up, stuff like that. Big if. right? Because
Right, exactly.
they always dangled that carrot in front of us in Metazoo, like, oh, you're so lucky you got these artists here signing your cards.
They kind of were, like, in my opinion.
I mean, is
No?
it? Or did they need to be there?
Oh,
Because
both. Oh, for sure. For sure.
yeah,
Yeah, they need to be there.
we were lucky, but also,
The artists needed to get paid.
yeah, exactly.
Like, that was part of their working wage.
Yeah. So it's interesting for sure. I don't personally, I'm kind of tired of seeing the artwork. I can see all the artwork on the first set of the cards. You don't need to show me
Which
the
is
art
what
anymore.
one take that I don't fully understand is like, hey, we don't want to release like any of the game information quite yet or
Why?
whatever, but we'll spoil the art. To me, the art should be the non-spoiled stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the exciting
Of cracking a pack and seeing like the cool art.
yeah, or a new cryptid for the first time or something. You're like, oh, this one's in here. Bigfoot's in this set. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
Not, oh yeah, here's the Bigfoot art that was spoiled 3 months ago. Cool. And then you just go past the card. Like,
yeah,
you want to see it. You want to be surprised. And maybe that's just with this first set.
Or to me, it's like all or nothing. Like maybe spoil nothing at all then, if that's your hill. Like, hey, we don't want to share any of the card layout or game mechanics. So
yeah, but without the art, they don't have anything, and then all of their traction just goes away.
Yeah, I don't know.
With whatever traction that is. But
yeah. And the other hot gossip is this whole event GWO
yeah.
whatnot stream stuff going on. I guess they're liquidating old Metazoo product.
Yeah, they sure are. It started with just like uncut sheets from the poker set, skateboard decks.
Yeah, just generic stuff that like people that has existed, right? Like
release decks, booster boxes. You're like, oh, okay, cool. And then they start pulling out like uncut sheets of release event decks that no one even knew existed, and uncut sheets of hollows from main sets that
you're like, holy moly, you can just buy an uncut sheet, but how much is there standing back there, and who's collecting, whose money is this going to?
Right.
Will any of the people that filed bankruptcy claims see any of this? Probably not.
Never. You will see none of it.
Yeah, so the whole situation's bizarre. And then you start seeing like things that were supposed to have been destroyed, like NFT cards that were not claimed, or what else was there? Frost Tower promos.
Yeah,
for a tower that
Tower
never happened. Or playtester bricks, rewards that were given to people who were supposed to have playtested the game. So you start seeing all these things, and you're like, sorry, that. By the way, I fidget. I'm holding my Yu-Gi-Oh deck. It's classic, like
classic card player.
Yeah, but I just don't understand. Okay, I'll be upfront with it. The claim is that this is Charlie or GameCubator essentially liquidating this through the back door and getting paid. Some deal may have been made. I'm not saying that's true or not. I'd like to believe that's not true. My suggestion, if Charlie or GameCubator or any of those folks are listening to this podcast, is that your best thing to do is just get out in front of it. Then
be transparent about it. Like,
just say, hey,
listen, guys, we sold this inventory.
We paid a lot of money to bring this new game back to life. We're trying to, people would understand that. They would. They'd be like, oh, this is helping kickstart essentially the game that I love.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Oh, cool. This is y'all's Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
You selling all of this old inventory off. Again, they probably could have done it themselves if they had just even an inkling of infrastructure for it, but that's okay. They sold it off. But again, if they were upfront about this, if they were transparent in why all of this, and again, this is exclusive stuff. This isn't someone who just had a backstock of Metazoo cards like a distributor or a store like an LGS. These are exclusive, never released to the public items
Yeah.
that no one ever thought existed, that are now being shown and auctioned off on a whatnot stream.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
And it's things that some people feel as though they were owed, right? So like
Yeah.
skateboard redemptions and things like that.
NFT cards,
NFT
skateboard
cards.
redemptions, playtester bricks. Why are all these things held in a backlog that was, then sold? Why weren't these distributed by the old company or given as a, hey, we know these game pieces aren't going to be worth anything. We're sorry that you were screwed over by the company that we now own. Here, have some. Like, how is that bad? I don't think that anybody that was affected by the bankruptcy or maybe didn't get paid out from Dark Tower, I don't think they would have complained about something. I'm sure they would have like money. As I was affected by the bankruptcy thing. I had money that I never got back. I would like to see money, but if they said, hey, in lieu of money, here is your amount. You can go into this webpage and pick out X things. Like they each have a dollar value based on their MSRP or something. Have at it. That'd be great. I'd like that. It's something.
I don't know. Yeah, even that logistically might be a mess. Maybe they don't have the warehouse infrastructure and all this other stuff. But more than anything, like I'm owed stuff too, but I'm not expecting anything back. It's more about the transparency stuff. So like if this is supposed to be, a trusting a trusting relationship, I would just be forthcoming about it and be like, either, hey, look, this has nothing to do with us. People would be like, oh, okay. Or B, be like, yeah, this is us and we're trying to sell this and we need the money to recoup funds for this, big expensive thing we bought. Okay, that's fine too. Well, I'm an adult. I can understand that.
Saying nothing is like the worst thing.
Yeah, it is. After everything that's been going on or has happened, it's really hard to be like, oh, this is just a random old whatnot stream. It's like
it ain't random. Anybody who knows anything knows that this is all backlogged inventory. This is all in the manifest of what was returned by management and what was sitting in the warehouse. It's bad. The more I think about it, this is a really bad look.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, like that they're still auctioning off these Rat King promos, which was like a $500 card forever. It was really rare. Mm-hmm. You had to redeem it by going to New York and taking a photo outside the billboard, and that was a cool thing like that the company had done, as a way to get engagement or whatever. Yeah. But seeing them essentially literally gamble, right? You bid $20 and you either win a UFO release deck or a Rat King, which is against Whatnot's terms of services as well. And having these guys, whatever, yeah, and having these guys related to your company.
Yeah, I think that's the important part.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's the whole picture. Yeah. It's just not a good look. And like I said, if they want to sell a dead product and people want to buy it, I don't really care about that. I'll be on record and say that I bought a few things too. I like uncut sheets. I like art. I like old Metazoo. I'm hopefully will like new Metazoo. Mm-hmm. I just think you ought to, if this is what your community's talking about, you ought to get in front of it and just say, hey, look, and the delineation of like, hey, this is Metazoo, but not GameCubator, or this is GameCubator, not Metazoo. It's really hard for your audience to separate those powers in their mind. Like they think it's all the same thing. But
yeah, it's all Metazoo, right?
Yeah, but how much of it is GameCubator and how much of it is Metazoo is something that should also be a little bit more transparent as well, right? Mm-hmm. Like to what degree is this Rick's work or Garfield's work, or you get what I'm saying? It's not, is this Charlie over here doing this, or is this GameCubator over here doing this? Regardless, just say it like it is and we can all move on, and I think that would be fine.
And I think just saying something would be great. It's nice. It doesn't, they typically announce things through not their own management, but through a community manager, which is how you're supposed to do it. I agree with this. Just having them say, a letter from the management at Metazoo Games trading card game. We have become aware of this, whatnot stream selling off old Metazoo stock, some of which was never released to the public. We are aware of this because we sold them this, in an attempt to, recoup some of the purchase of Metazoo Games. We understand this may leave a sour taste in, fans' mouths, but this is what we had to do. We are creating a brand new game that does not utilize any of the old cards or any of the old game mechanics other than Aura. So this was not useful to us. We didn't need it. So in an attempt to, again, fund our game that we will be releasing, it'd be cool if they dropped like a date in that. That'd be sick. This is what we did. I think them saying that would make so many people just go, "Ooh, okay,
yeah."
At least you said something. Not saying something is weird. That's very Metazoo 1 vibes.
No, big time Mike Waddell energy.
Yeah.
Andy Murat energy. Hey, we know you guys have this stuff, like doing shady things.
Yeah, we see the bag of staff promos sitting on the judge table. Why aren't you giving them to the judges?
To the staff, who are there. Huh.
Oh, God.
The whole thing's just a little bizarre. And yeah. Anyways,
that's one of the things that you shouldn't have taken away from original Metazoo. Like, don't bring that with you into the new game.
Yeah. If you're gonna dump the everything with the old game, dump that first.
Yeah, exactly. Dump the non-transparency, except for the select few that knew everything and made significant gains off of it. Get rid of that.
And if you want to learn from anybody, sorcery. Pull a page out of old Simon's book and say, "Hey, look, these people are upset. Let's just say, let's talk.
Let's just say, hey, my bad. We're sorry. Let's talk about it."
And even if people don't like your response, you came out and said something.
You said something. Exactly.
You move on. It's like, yeah, too bad. No matter what, we're running the stream. We need to recoup funds. Sorry to hear that. This is us. This was happening, and here's what we're doing moving forward. The end.
Perfect. Yeah. Love it or hate it, you said something. You're doing something about it, or saying something about it, right? And it's all good. But yeah, it's something. Man, I hate how much of a grip Metazoo still has on both of us, but it sure do.
Yeah, I like Metazoo. I do. I've said that. I said this to you earlier. I think I've come to terms with like Metazoo's like the thing that I maybe will collect, and it's because I have those memories of like, hanging out with the boys, playing some events, that stuff. But I don't know. It's just I want to like Metazoo. I'm still approaching it with a very open mind, open arms. But let's get started on the right foot here.
Yeah.
Not on a weird liquidation sale foot.
I love it. I love hearing that. Let's, like you said, let's do things the right way. I think we like that, right?
Yep. Good things. Speaking of doing things the right way, how do you feel about your Nom Nom supporter care package?
Hey! So they announced this. I think I even talked about it.
You did
a month ago on the pod. I talked about them coming out around Thanksgiving, saying that they'd be sending supporter care packages out to everyone who backed. Depending on your tier, you would get these things, and they would be coming out. They'd start shipping. You should be getting them by Christmas. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, it's 2 days after Christmas, and I have received my supporter pack, my care package. And, it's nice to finally hold Nom Nom cards in my hand. This is something that we say every week. every week on the podcast. We want physical cards for your indie card game.
Let me touch them.
So they sent me 2 decks. They sent me a nice little 2-player decks. They sent me a nice little two 1-player play mats that have zones on it. We love seeing zones on the play mat. We
That is
love
cool.
that. Yeah, it's got nice
I like
artwork.
that. Yeah.
Let's give them that little.
Is it a rubber
flash.
mat?
It is a rubber mat. It's high quality. It's nice. We like it.
Is it stitch edges?
It is stitched edges.
Oh man.
Yeah,
okay, they went all out.
Yeah, they spent the extra 80 cents on the playmat. That's for sure. It came with a lanyard, to put your keys on, because people still do that, I heard. And then some little mystery bags, some little blind bags. They had an event at Spookla.
Spookala.
Gave you a little promo pack and a little mystery pin, because everybody loves pin. I'm cracking the pin right now. Hold on. Oh, look at that. It's like I'm opening up oh man, and it's this little fella. I don't know who this is, but look at this little guy.
It's a little guy.
Oh, no, hold on. I was holding him wrong. It is Horned Fly on the Wall. Look at that little guy.
I like that. That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. I was very happy whenever I got this package notification. I didn't know what it was, and then I pull it out of my mailbox, and I see that it's from Nom Nom, and I'm like, what are they sending me? Is it my Kickstarter pledge finally? No. It's my
yeah.
It's at least I have 2 decks of cards that we can play. Maybe Nom Nom verse gameplay video and review coming to you soon. Giddm Gamers, but I was happy about this. I am pleasantly surprised that I got something, because if I'm being honest, I was expecting nothing.
Yeah, and in a time where you could get nothing, we take that.
It's nice that I got something. So yeah, pretty cool. I like that. I think some people, I started seeing those pop up in the normal like indie TCG Facebook marketplace channels. People like posting playmats and card bricks, stuff like that. I was like, that's weird. How they getting Nom Nom stuff? Like, are they playtesters or what's going on there? But no, none of that. They just made good on what they said they were going to do, and I'm happy that it actually. Oh man, in the Spooklo, you get stickers, dude. Look at this little dude. Look at that guy. What the
Oh my
heck?
god, he looks like a fun little friend.
Dude, he's a little frog under a leaf, man. Look at this. How cool is that? Oh man, so sick. Anyways, Nom Nom update. Still no product from my pledge, but they sent me some cards for my contribution, I guess. So I like that. Big fans of that. Happy to get those.
Yeah, I wanna give that a try. Maybe we can play it at bar locals. What do you say?
I'll sleeve it up. We'll give it a shot.
Okay.
That looks like a fun time. Dude, I'm stoked on this little frog guy. He's sick. Anyways, back to pod related news.
No, that's cool. I like Nom Nom. I want to play it. They've been through some trying times, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they had the printing issue and what still feels like just delay after delay.
After delay.
Delay. After delay. Not a big fan of that. Oh, did I get 2 different stickers? I got that. Hey, look what I got. I got a little frog guy sticker for you.
Oh, look, that's mighty fine picking and thumbing.
I got double frog guy stick. Oh, and I got the same promos. Oh,
I can't see them. Sorry.
Hold on. Well, I got these in my last pack. Looks like it's 2 little exclusive promos here, but cool. Well, I got a set of promos and a cool little frog sticker with your name on it, Mr. Chalupa.
Hey, I take that. I take that. What else do we got, sir? Are we running low on news stories here?
I think that's all that we got. I did have Magic Con Chicago's happening in February,
Oh yeah,
They got a pretty sick lightning bolt artwork that they're going to give out.
classic card.
Oh, of course. Lightning bolt's been printed since the first set, so
Yep. Iconic.
it's good. Anytime it's in format, it's always in every red deck ever. RDW red deck wins is always a popular archetype every time they let it be. So it's like your aggro deck in Magic. And maybe this reprint means that Lightning Bolt's coming back. Who knows? Doubt it. They'll just print a different card that does the same thing. But it's pretty sick. Magic cons are pretty cool. I think it is a nice step away from strictly like Pro Tour and PTQs, Grand Prix, if you will, on that. It's a nice little side thing. They have gaming, they have different competitive events there, but it's more of a social thing, which is nice. You would think that they would have done this already, right? But no, it's nice. It's nice to have around. I know that they have a whole schedule of different locations that they're going to do.
They usually announce the next few sets for the year, right? Or no?
Oh yeah. 100%. Or at least, like give you a little, like you said, a little preview.
Yeah.
They'll have a little presentation of what's to come. And it's nice. It's cool. I like it. I like that you're getting cool little exclusive promos on that. I just wanted to mention it because I thought the artwork looked really cool for the lightning bolt. It's like an anime girl that looks like she's got a little lightning bolt in her hand. She's about to shock the shit out of you. So we like that.
Okay, yeah. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah. That thing does look awesome.
It looks sick. I love it.
Ooh, it's like a secret layer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Ooh, that looks so cool. Yep, dude, I like that.
Thank you. See, that's purely why I wanted to mention.
That's news. That's newsworthy.
Just for the lightning bolt artwork. Everyone loves a good lightning bolt reprint.
Yeah, makes me think of Sorcery too. Sorcery has their own version of that.
They do, yeah. And hey, what do you know? They're about to come out with some cat promos. If those ever see the light of day.
Oh, meow.
So that'll be good news. You guys better believe that as soon as I get my hands on some cat promos, the Giddm Games, the Stacking the Deck podcast will.
You're gonna dress as a cat.
I got my ears and tail ready to go. Yeah, brother.
All right. Well, y'all stick around for the cat episode.
The cat cosplay episode.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks for stacking the deck with us. Hope you enjoy your holidays. We won't be doing this until the new year, so it's been a pleasure doing this whole podcast thing in 2024 with y'all, and we'll see you in 2025.
See ya.